Hey kids, it's me, Uncle Greg, the Free American Spirit, and we're back down here at the beach testing out that Deus 2 again. I'll have a video up soon from the last couple hunts. Tell you what I think about it, but boy, look at those waves. It's loud out today. High tide isn't for, or excuse me, low tide's not for a couple hours, but I'm liking that churning action. Today we're going to talk about that XP Deus 2 detector, and is it better than the Mind Lab? Well, I got some thoughts on it, especially the quote hype or not hype. And this video is for Mr. Calabash because I want to get some questions answered. And of course, he turns his comments off, so I can't get to him. So I really enjoy his videos, but I'm not producing in my area exactly what he is. Doesn't mean he's wrong. Doesn't mean, that he's hyping anything. But I will say this, okay? When it comes to technology, the XP Deus 2 did not come up with some brand new multi-frequency tech or whatever, or some special coil. So in that regard, that's a little hypey, meaning, multi-frequency has been around for a while. Multi-frequency coils have been around for a while, that kind of thing. With that being said, I've had the old Deus for years and I loved it, but I couldn't go on the beach, so I sold it. So I will say that what Mind Lab has done is they have taken this technology and, they already had the lighter shafts and the things like that. So that's a no-brainer. They took this technology and they wrote programs in their software and their settings, allowing you to change different things, and have really done a great job. So is it the best detector out there? That all depends on you, but I think, when it comes to depth, no problem. When it comes to how their programs operate and their settings and what they've done, no problem. They've done a really great job. I think it outshines the Mind Lab 800, okay? But it's not end all be all. If you want to start digging some stuff, man, it goes deeper. And if you want to be into the water and go transition from your wet sand all the way into the water without a problem, it does pretty good. Now in my situation, I'm going from like St. Augustine Beach all the way down, to the Treasure Coast, but for the most part, Crescent Beach, Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach, Flagler Beach, that area. In my situation, on those beaches, the MI is a little rough down towards the Daytona area and up towards the St. Augustine area, okay, a little more than average. So I have a little bit of EMI issues. I'm working on that, trying to get through them. I'm not an idiot. I've down the sensitivity. I've down the reaction time. I've upped the reaction time. I've down the salt sensitivity. I've upped the salt sensitivity, et cetera, whatever. I've used Dive. I've used my own programs. I've used Calabash's programs, whoever. But I really want Calabash, to give me an email so I can call him and kind of discuss some things that are going on. In my situation, I haven't quite got the great results on gold like he has. Now, when it comes to rings and things like that, testing them out on the beach, no problem. When it comes to smaller things, I haven't gotten what he's gotten, but I have different soils in my beach maybe, and I also have an 11-inch coil. So, I'm thinking that when I'm using my 11-inch coil, on the dry beach down here where the cars are and people sit, no problem. On the beach that's semi-wet, because yesterday it was high tide, but it's still moist and wet, not too much of a problem. When I get down in the really wet sopping sand or transition into the water, I'm having some issues. Not huge, but I get that little crackling, whatever, and I really got to dumb it down some. And then when I get in the water, on the end of the swing, I'll get a false. It's not huge. You'll still get stuff, but I know that will decrease, your fine. So if I went to a 9-inch coil, maybe those go away. Like I said, if I'm up in Crescent Beach where there's less EMI, I don't get as much of that. It's very little. I mean, it was really quiet. I went out there the other day to do some tests on a lot of gold items, especially small stuff and chains. So I brought a lot with me, but unfortunately, the winds kicked up to 22 miles an hour. It was really loud out there, and I only had those stupid headphones they send you, the backbones or whatever they're called. I've got other headphones on order because I gave mine, when I sold my Deus 1, I gave the headphones with them like an idiot. knowing that I was going to buy another Deus, but regardless, so it was really, really loud. I couldn't hear faint signals, and it was sanded in beyond belief, and it was cold. It just happened to be yesterday, it got down to like, for us, 50 degrees, but at 22-mile-an-hour winds, it was getting really chilly out there. So I didn't get those tests done. That'll be another video, and we'll fill you in. But overall detecting, you'll see no gold on here. And, that's not to say the Deus doesn't get gold at Daytona or whatever. It means to say that I live, 80 miles from the beach. By the time I drive my fat butt out there, after the weekend or Saturday night or whatever, whenever low tide is, everybody and their brother has gone over and scanned it, plus it's off season, okay? So I'm not saying there's not gold rings here. You'll see people find a gold ring or a bracelet or a jewelry here and there, but they're few and far between to begin with. Add on that I got to get there and get the pickings, well, there you go. So, one good thing about the beach is there's always something. So at least you don't waste your time. So I'm having little issues with how big my coil is, just a little bit of EMI. And for people that think that the Minelab 800 there does not have problems with the EMI, well, it does, number one, and it does around the Deus. Now I noticed, some guys came up to me, they had the 800s or the 600s, and when they came up, I noticed my machine would get a little more staticky, and I would ask them, are you getting any feedback? And they would say no. But then when they got really close, like one time we were sitting there and my earbuds just went off like, I mean, super loud. And my head jerked back, and as my head jerked back, the guy's head jerked back. And I said, did you hear that? And he goes, yeah, what the hell is that? So I walked away a couple feet and I reset the machine, and that went away, and so did his. So they will talk to each other, and both will be affected. It's just something to watch out. And I think around Daytona, all those condos and whatever has more EMI anyways, because I have had problems with my Minelab, especially up in the water, trying to get the EMI cut down enough and whatnot with the big coil. Let's go through some of these finds. So this was all up in the dry where the cars are and people go, and they all sounded good. This one rang up really nice. It hardly had any rust on it, but I had left it out overnight, wet and whatever, and it developed rust in a couple days. And when I went and got it, I was kind of bummed out because it, fresh drop, almost looked new. I don't have any bottle cap rejection, so these were popping up. Then I got into the next section, and this is kind of like the moist sand where, the high tide was up like this, and this was, where they sat. So the high tide kind of came up, but it's back a little bit. So it was kind of moist, but not real wet. And the good thing about this is, the Deus is finding really small stuff, okay? I had one pop zipper pull, whatever that is. Yeah, it's a zipper pull, it's iron. This little thing, of course, the little lead weights. The Deus loves lead. This weird piece. Now, on a couple of these, I knew they were bad. They're iron tone, like this wire. But I dug them just to see what they were. Okay, the item I pulled out of there was about 14 inches deep. Started off real good, really, really faint. As a 5, okay, as I took a couple scoops out, like maybe, 3 inches. Then I got a bunch of iron. I knew not to dig it, but I just wanted to show that, there it is, it's a tent stake. Now normally what will happen is you'll get a high tone sounding good, especially the ones with the little loops, and then it'll also give you that little iron grunt. But this one, I guess, was just deep enough or corroded enough or whatever that it started off. I had to get a couple inches off to get that grunt sound. Alrighty. In the beginning on these tent stakes here, I thought, ooh, they would ring off with a real high pitch like a coin and then go rant, rant, give you that iron grunt. And I thought, this is great. There's a coin next to a bottle cap or something like that. But you figure it out real quick. So I was just digging things just on the case, because I dig mostly everything anyways, just on the case that it actually was a quarter or something sitting next to a bottle cap or piece of iron. This little nut and bolt right here, it's small, it's round, it just rang up great. So what are you going to do? Now we're moving on to the water's edge. We're really sopping wet, and sometimes a little bit down the water itself, but not a whole lot, because I was getting chattering in the water. But but the water would come up and really soak the thing. And got this car, it's been there a while. I don't know how somebody missed that. This ring up, this little washer nut, whatever, pretty nice. Got a bunch of pennies, 2 nickels, 3 dimes, 2 quarters, lead weight. So that was my first day out with it. So the next day out, here again we are on the dry sand. Another, wherever that went, that was another zipper pull, piece of coleslaw folded up, 2 pennies freshly dropped. Now we're getting into the semi-wet sand, and you can see these have been here a while. Some iron, one really rusty bottle cap. I don't use bottle cap discrimination. Piece of metal, flip top. I knew all these were junk. They were all giving me a little weird kind of a thing, except for the pop top. That just sounded wonderful. And then we're into the really heavy sand, into the water and the really soupy, whatever you want to call it, beach sand, crusted pennies. I think there's a dime in there. You really can't tell. I think that, nope, that's a penny. Thought I had a dime in there, maybe not. Anywho, and then we had some good finds. This was, I don't know what that was. Ring up about a 65, about 6 inches deep. I'm telling what that is. Those headphones are loud and I get that thing too close to it. What you got in there? I don't know if you can see it. Is that a penny? Can't be a penny at 65. Where is it? Where'd it go? I'll get back with you in a second. I gotta... Come on, where are you? I hear it jiggling around in there. I don't see it. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Fell out of the scoop. Some kind of weird jewelry busted up. But we had some good finds. One was another wheatback penny, which how this is not corroded all to hell, I have no idea. But I think it's a 54. And let's look at the size of this stuff. This is a little, I don't know what that is, but if you look at it, it's a little wire twisted into some kind of little arrangement. Look how thin that is, man. That is insane. And you want to talk about small, what the heck is that? It's like this little dinky piece of lead. I actually found 2 of them. Took me forever to get them in the wet sand. You know how that stuff keeps going down. But look at the size of that thing. I lost the other one. That thing got picked up, and I kid you not, it was at least 8 inches down. And I will tell you about digging depth. You don't want to dig, don't get the Deus 2, because I'm telling you, I didn't measure everything. But like I said, I've been metal detecting since the 1960s, okay? I know basically how far things are down just by shoveling out. When I'm digging with this, for the most part, 2 scoops, 3 scoops, if it's semi-wet sand or whatever, that's about it. Every once in a while, a little bit further, I might get 4 scoops out, something like that. When I'm digging with this Deus 2, I'm talking 4 or 5 scoops on a lot of these. These were several scoops down. Look how small and frail they are. And then look at this little silver ring right here. Can you see that? Will it zoom in enough to see that? That thing, look how thin that is. Well, I don't know if you can see that. That ring up about a 74. Very, very faint. About 8 inches down in the hard pack. Looks to be a silver ring by the coloring. Boy, is that thin. Good job, Deus 2. That was a lot of digging for a ring that ain't worth much. So I'm learning some of the sounds on this one because I'm setting all my things to 5 tones. And I made a mistake also because I have tinnitus and bad hearing anyways. I made a mistake. I started customizing some of the tones. So now I'm going to go back and just leave it at 5 tones to however they have them set. And see how that works out and get used to that. But you can tell when these things grunt out, and you can tell most of the time some of this junk, but some of this small stuff, depending how deep it is, just like any metal detector, you're just not going to be able to tell. It's going to ring good. You're going to dig it, and everybody goes, oh, the Deus, look, it doesn't do whatever. Well, I do the same junk on the Mine Lab. How many times have you dug up a signal that says, oh man, it's a 15 or a 14, it's a gold, and it turns out to be a pop top or whatever. Third day out, messing around just a little bit, started ignoring some of the bad signals. Up in the sand though, stainless steel looking, I don't even know what that is. If anybody knows what that is, you can, I guess it has something to do with a vape. It's an atomizer. But anywho, these were all folded. This one was actually folded in half. I unfolded it. But, they're crunched up. They sounded good. getting back into the semi-wet sand, you know, can't get around them. You know, they were all, and all these were down 8 to 10 inches. All these were right on the surface. Then getting into the really super water, we're back down to 4 or 5 scoops, penny, nickel, quarter, and that thing was way down there. Look how small that is, a little lead sinker. So that's my view of the day so far for you. I am going to go out, you know, and do those gold tests and do another video. And so I'll let you see those, you know, and I just need to get your comments. I mean, what's any of you guys, I think I'm the first guy to be running around Daytona area. I haven't seen anybody else with the Deus or anybody post one up. I got it last week, and I'm running around there, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And I'm running around there just having a good old time. But, you know, I wish I was closer to the beach so I could get out there at better times and, you know, really learn those beaches a little bit better. But let me know what you think, guys, about the Deus. Have you used it? You know, what do you think of other people's videos? What do you think about, you know, my situation with the gold? I mean, I'm not finding those little earbacks of the earrings and things like that. I mean, I did some air tests, but I have a lot of EMI here at the home, and of course here in the shed. You can't, it just bounces off these metal walls. So doing air tests aren't really helping me. But you know what I could do? I mean, I couldn't get little backs of earrings and a little dinky gold earring, you know, just a stud. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even get it to ring up. And I have another little 2 weird earrings that I found that are really light. I'll show them to you later. But I couldn't get those to ring up. Now, you know, gold rings, hit every single one of them, no problem. Almost every chain, hit every single one, no problem. I do have 2 small chains, so I want to test those actually out where there's not as much EMI, because this little park here just has EMI where I live, like out the wazoo. But we'll get to that in another day. So let me know. Hopefully Calabash will email me, and I'll give him my phone number and we can chat a little bit, because, you know, I'd like to get it sorted out. You know, I've gone through a lot of different little settings and stuff. So, hey guys, thumbs up, share the video, like the video, that's the thumbs up. Subscribe, hit that bell icon, and use those links. You know, I'm not here selling detectors. I make a little bit of money off of my videos, and ain't much, you know, 30 bucks a month, somewhere in there if I'm lucky. But it helps me. It's a lot of, you know, money to buy this stuff and time to do it. So, okay, I'll quit whining now. Thanks for watching. Bye.